Hi, I'm Nina.
Hi, I'm Katie. It's nice to meet you. You want to tell me a little bit about what brought you in today and what's going on?
Sure. So I've kind of been thinking about seeking services for a little while. Things have just been really, really difficult at home. There's been a lot going on. My boyfriend that I've been with for about 3 years now has been, calling me every name in the book. He calls me, all of the names that you could think of. He has gotten really verbally aggressive towards me, and it started to get where I'm emotionally drained every single day. I hear something, I hear him come in, and I immediately get worried and get defensive. And it's kind of gotten to the point where he's gotten physically aggressive with me now too. There was one incident where he beat me up, and I had bruises all over myself, and I was going to go to the hospital, but he stopped me from being able to go. And so I just kind of really need to talk through with that with someone and figure out what are the things that I can do, what are the next steps, and just kind of get help.
Okay. So, have you ever been to an agency before? Ever gotten services anywhere before?
I have not, I've never had anything like this before, so I don't even know what services are available. A friend referred me to counseling, and so that's kind of how this first step has gone.
Okay. Okay. Well, we do have different groups. We've got support group. We've got, some DB 101. Just there is a couple different groups, Bible study, if that's something you're interested in. We do have quite a few different groups that we offer. Um, how long has this been going on?
I would say it's been going on since about a year into our relationship. The first year, he was like a perfect gentleman, treated me right. So I really saw a future with him. These last couple of years after that have been, honestly, it's gotten worse and worse and worse. And like it started out where he would, say something and do something, and then he would immediately feel bad about it and would apologize and say, this was a one time thing. Like, I'm so sorry. I would never do this, So I would forgive him. And then it just kept going back and forth. And now there's almost none of that period of, I'm so sorry, I'll change until I threaten to leave. And then he's like, either it gets explosive and he's like, no, you can't leave or I'll kill you, or it has gotten to a point where, oh no, I'll change, we'll do counseling, we'll do this, we'll do that. So it just depends every time. And it seems like every single day now there's some kind of incident.
Has he ever actually gotten counseling or tried to do anything like that, or just said that he would and then not follow through?
Right. So he's just said that he would. Obviously, as you can see, I've reached out for counseling. And even when I told him that I was thinking about doing counseling, even just by myself, he got really explosive. Last week, when I told him, I had bruises all up and down my body because he got so aggressive with it. He keeps saying that he'll do counseling, we'll do couples counseling, and anytime I actually bring it up to get it started, it immediately causes some kind of argument. And so he's never actually put in any work, he just keeps saying it.
Do you guys have any kids together, or do you have any kids in the home?
So we have two kids. One is his daughter that is 5. So she is from a previous relationship of his, which I have now learned that that was not a healthy relationship, that he was kind of doing the same things with her, and that's why they ended. And then I have a daughter that is 2.
And that one's with him?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Are they around when this is going on? Like, have they seen any of it, or are they not there when it happens usually?
So typically they haven't been there. There was one time that they were there, but they were in, so we have a 2-bedroom house or a 2-floor house, and they were on the second story upstairs, and we were downstairs, and they couldn't hear anything. But for the most part, they haven't been there, witnessed anything.
Well, that's good at least that they're not seeing it and not witnessing it, but it's still not good for you. And I'm glad that you came in today and that you're trying to get help. That's a good first step.
Right.
Have you thought about leaving? Like, are you looking for housing maybe, or just trying to get counseling right now and kind of prove?
I mean, I have thought about leaving, but I don't really know how I would go about it. I have been looking at different housing options, but it's really hard, especially with me having a daughter, like a single mom. He hasn't allowed me to work, so that's kind of been another way that he's gotten, control over me is by not letting me work, and so I don't know even how to get a job or anything like that. So right now, I really just want counseling and services and maybe some help figuring out how to get housing and that sort of thing.
Well, that's definitely something we can help you with as well. We can help you with resume. If that's something you're interested in, we can definitely help with housing and, what that looks like.
Right.
We do have another agency that we work with here that's with us that helps with housing.
Okay.
And so we can, we'll fill out papers and stuff if
Right.
that's something you're interested in, and we can work with them as well. We do have, we talked about groups too that you're interested in, so we can figure that out. Obviously, if something changes and you decide that you want to leave and that you can't stay there anymore, that's an option too. We do have the shelter that is an option as well if that's something that, but even just doing counseling and, seeing us is something that we can help with.
Right. I think I'm just like concerned about like obviously spending too much time before I get a safe place, like what he's gonna think, what he's gonna do, that sort of thing. Like I know shelter's an option, but I think that I don't know if I'm ready for that. But I definitely want services like groups and that and housing assistance. I think that would be really helpful. I think my main thing is like I just want to get away from him, but at the same time the shelter, like I don't know if my daughter and I could do that. Um, but I do think that counseling is really important. How does counseling kind of work? Is it kind of like this, or how does that work?
So we can do, kind of whatever works for you, how often you would like to do it. If you just want to do one-on-one, if you want to do one-on-one and, we can talk, as well as doing groups with other people. We do have our support group is the most popular one, I think, kind of, because you get to talk to other people who have been in that situation or are currently in situations that are similar to yours, and everybody's situation is different, but
Right.
it makes it a little easier to talk to other people and see that other people are going through the same thing and experiencing the same thing as you. And some of these girls have gotten out of situations and, are in their own housing and all of that too. And so that's, I think a good thing for people to see too. And,
Right.
to see that it can get better. And obviously, if you're not ready to leave, then that's okay too. We just want to make sure that you stay safe and, what you can do to keep yourself and your kids safe, right, when situations do happen.
I think the main reason that I'm scared to leave is because I have tried to leave before, and when I did, he threatened to take our daughter away from me, threatened to call DCFS, um, and threatened that if I try to take her away from him, that he would kill both of us. And so I don't know how to do it safely because I'm worried about what he'll do if we do try to actually leave. So even just leaving for the shelter, I feel like he would still be able to find us. Is there any other options that like I could do for more protection?
But I completely understand. Being afraid, that's understandable. We do have, our shelter is safe. As long as you're here, no one can get in without being let into the shelter. We do have alarm system and all of that stuff set up. And then if it's something you're interested in, we have legal advocates that can help you get an order of protection against him so that he has to stay away from you or, he'll get in trouble. So with everything you've told me, and everything that's gone on, you would just, if that was something you're interested in, talking to the legal advocate, even if you just wanted to talk to them for more information, you could do that too, but they would help you with all of the paperwork and go to court with you and walk through that whole process with you so that you don't have to do it alone.
Okay, that definitely sounds like something I would be interested in. So with that, could I still do counseling and all of those sort of things, or is it just those services?
No, absolutely.
How does that work?
Yeah, if that's something you're interested in, you could get the order of protection. You can still do counseling. You can do groups. shelter, you can do as much or as little as you want it to do, is the interest you.
Okay, gotcha. And what about my daughter? Is there stuff for her that would be possible? Because, obviously she hasn't really witnessed it, but if I'm taking her away from dad, and she's kind of noticed that before when we've left, and I said, we're just going on a trip, that sort of thing, obviously it has an effect on her. So is there an option for her as well? Because I don't want her to kind of grow up the way that I did. Yeah. And so is that anything possible?
Yeah, we can do counseling with her as well, and we've got some other agencies that we work with too that we can refer, that would be good for you and for your daughter. If you think that she really needs counseling,
Mhm.
then we could reach out to other agencies and we could work with them.
Right.
Was there you mentioned that you grew up and things were a little rough when you grew up. Did you grow up in an abusive household?
I did. My dad was really abusive towards my mom and towards me. And I think that's maybe why, like, I, kept always going towards these bad relationships. He was very verbally and emotionally abusive. He also did, like, financial abuse, where, like, he would force her to work or not to work. And, we never got to see any of the money. He would always just spend it on, drugs and alcohol and whatever he wanted to. And he was abusive towards me as well. And so, like, I was actually put into the system for a little while. So it was a rough upbringing. And then, within the system, of course, there's issues. So I did not have a great childhood, and all of my past relationships that I've had have either ended up, just being really bad and I've left and it hasn't been an issue, or it's kind of been the same cycle, but this is the worst it's ever been.
Do you have a relationship with him or with your mom now?
I definitely don't have a relationship with him. He is actually in prison for domestic battery. Um, so I don't have a relationship with him at all. And my mom, she has kind of gone the same way where, she blames me for all of it. She thinks that, like, us kids were the reason that he turned like that, and that he wasn't the actual issue, because before the kids, they had, like, this picture perfect life. So even on her end, like, I still get, where I'm told every day, like, you're worthless. I wish, you had never been born, all that sort of thing. So it's kind of been, abuse from him, but then also from her. And so, the only reason I still have a relationship with her is because of, her granddaughter. I want her to have a relationship with her. But at the same time, it's just gotten worse.
And you need those healthy relationships and not things that are unhealthy for you like that. That's definitely not, and that's not saying that it couldn't change and that things couldn't get better,
Right.
but definitely want to have healthy relationships. We can set up counseling. If that's, you wanted to do counseling, would you want to maybe do it once a week? Or what do you think you need right now would be best for you?
I mean, I definitely think I need counseling once a week because, I've just been feeling so awful about myself. I've been looking at my daughter kind of the way that my mom looked at me, and I don't want that for her, because pretty much she was born, like, right after, like, our 1 year anniversary, pretty much. So we got pregnant with her pretty quick. But during that whole time, he was really supportive of me, was really helpful. He was great with the pregnancy. And then after we had hers, like, when everything started to change, he started to go out drinking more. He started, to be verbally abusive and saying, like, that I wasn't a good mother, that I wasn't taking care of her. And that's when it really started to get the worst. And, like, especially as she's gotten a little bit older, because now she's almost 2. Um, he has been nothing but abusive, and now he's telling her, because she hasn't started walking yet completely all by herself. She hasn't really started talking. So he thinks that since she's missing all these milestones, that it's my fault. And then he also gets frustrated with her when she's not doing what she's supposed to be doing. And so I really want to do more one-on-one, and I want to do it at least weekly. However, until I actually get a safe place, I don't know if it will be safe to do it weekly. So maybe every other week to start, and then hopefully once we find housing, or if I decide to go into the shelter, then we can do it more often.
Does he work?
He doesn't work. So he would work off and on, but he always gets fired from anywhere that he's worked, because of his temper, because he doesn't want to listen to authority figures, and so he either forces me to work, or when he's working, I'm not allowed to work. Um, and so right now I'm the only one working, so I'm working plus supposed to take care of our daughter because he doesn't do anything with her. Yet he thinks he's this golden parent. And so I do all the working, I do all the cleaning, everything. He just sits there and lays on the couch and yells at us.
I didn't know if he worked, if that was an option, that you had that time that you could, get out. Uh, but we can, whatever you is safe for you. That's what we want to do, is what's going to be best and safest for you and for your daughter.
Right.
Because we don't want to make it worse, but we want to be able to help you as well, and do what we can to work with the services.
Right.
I know I talked a little bit about what groups we have. Was there any that you thought maybe interested you that you were interested in, that you would like to attend? And we can kind of talk a little bit more about them if you had questions about them too.
Right. Can you kind of tell me a little bit about the DV 101 one? I know that I was interested in support group too, but.
So the DV 101 is set up kind of like a class. He's got it set up. So he rotates through 16, I think it's 16 weeks that he's got all set up. So he talks about what domestic violence is and what the cycle is and how it looks, and just, what goes on, and kind of explains, and helps people understand better and to see what happens and that you're not alone.
Okay. Yeah, that and support group definitely sounds something that I'd be interested in. Bible study, I'm not really a religious person, so I don't think that would fit. Is there like children's groups at all?
We do offer, we have a parenting group as well. I forgot to mention that one. We've got a parenting group. And then our groups like support group, DV 101, and the parenting group, while those are going on, we do have childcare available. Okay. So your daughter could be in the children's group while you attended group. That way, she was taken care of, and you wouldn't have to worry about trying to chase her while you're in group or anything like that.
Okay, got you. So she would be taken care of while I'm in group.
Yes. And and we'd let you guys come in and meet and see where she's gonna be, so that, and she'd be right there close to you too. Right. So that would make you, and maybe make her as well feel better knowing and kind of seeing where she's gonna be and being around other kids and all of that.
Yeah, I definitely think those groups would be really helpful for both of us. But I just can't help feeling like there's something else I should have done. If I wasn't like this, he wouldn't do that. If I just listened to him and understood that he wouldn't blow up like that. And I can't help feeling like it's all my fault.
It's hard, especially when you've grown up in such a rough situation too, and that's what you've seen. It's really hard not to think that way, but you can't blame yourself for something that you didn't do. It's not you making these decisions and saying these things or acting this way. It's not you. And I know that's hard. It's hard to see, but it gets easier, I think, after, and I think going to groups and talking to other people, that I think that makes it a lot easier too, and can help you to see what's going on.
Why do people act like this? Why do they decide to hurt people like this?
I wish that I had a good answer for that, because I wonder the same thing, but I think a lot of times it's, situations that they've grown up in, if they've been in an abusive household or something like that, a lot of times, they've seen their parent be abusive, and so then they follow that, and it's just a cycle. They see it, and so that's how they act. Or if even if they've been in an abusive relationship before, then that kind of that anger and that comes out too. But
What is kind of this cycle that I heard you referring to? Can you go over that?
So usually, I guess not usually, I guess everything's different, but typically, there's, our cycle of abuse, it starts out nice, and you said for the first year he was really nice and was great, and then started to get bad, and he would, be mean, would say mean things, but then would automatically, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, it won't happen again,
Right.
but then it happens again. And next time it happens, maybe it gets a little bit worse. And, then a lot of times people will buy you things or will do something to try and make up for it.
Right.
And it'll be good for a little bit. We call that the honeymoon period. But then usually there's a buildup, and you can tell, a lot of times that things are starting to get tense again. And then the person acts out, and is verbally or physically abusive, depending on, and everybody's kind of different on how they are. But, we go through this cycle of things are good, and then it gets tense, and then it's bad, and then it goes to good again for a little bit. And the cycle gets shorter, sometimes it's longer, and there will be really long periods of time that things are good, and sometimes it's shorter and it's only good for a day before it's bad again.
Yeah, that's definitely kind of what I've experienced is, like it would go like months without happening, and then something would happen and they'd be apologetic, and we took a vacation as a family. And then we came back and everything seemed fine, and then it happened again, and now it's happening every single day. But now he's no longer apologetic of it. So I can definitely see that like playing out in our relationship, and I think it just makes it even more frustrating because, like why didn't I realize at the beginning signs? Why didn't I just leave? But like obviously I love him, and he's my kid's father. I want her to grow up with a dad, not without a dad like I did. Um, so I don't know. I'm just really confused on what I should do because, obviously I want her to have someone in her life, but now she's not going to. So I don't know what to do.
It's hard. I mean, and especially when you love someone, it is really hard to leave because you want them to change, you want things to get better, but you've got to take care of yourself and your daughter and do what's best for you guys, even if that means that her dad's not there all the time. That doesn't mean she couldn't still have a relationship with him and couldn't still see him, but you want to make sure she's safe too, and that she doesn't grow up in this same type of situation that you did.
Right.
And end up in a bad situation.
Right.
We don't want that for her either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's kind of just what I'm worried about is I don't want her to go through the same things that I've gone through. And so I just want to be able to protect her and protect me at the same time and figure out what's going to be the best way. And so I definitely think counseling and services would help. That's kind of the main reason why I really wanted to speak with someone is to figure out what are our options because, we didn't have any when I was a kid. I wasn't able to talk to anyone. My mom never got help, and I don't know if that was her choice or because she didn't know services. So I never knew what to look out for. So I think that's kind of how I got stuck into the cycle.
It's really hard, and it's easy to get sucked into the cycle, especially when someone seems so nice in the beginning, and
Right.
And that's how they suck you into it, really. But you made a good first step, and you came here, and you're trying to change things for you and for your daughter, so that's good.
Right.
So we can, let's see, let's set up what if you wanted to see counseling. You said maybe every other week for now.
Yeah.
So if you want to wait and not come back this next week, and we'll do the week after that. What is there a day that would work best for you?
So he is typically gone with his friends every Monday, usually until at least 6 p.m. Usually he leaves around 9 in the morning and he goes out fishing with his buddies. So maybe Mondays during that time.
Okay.
That way, hopefully he's gone and it won't start a fight.
Okay. Well, if Mondays work for you, then we can do that. What time would you like to do?
Maybe 11. That way I know that he'll for sure be gone, but then it won't. Like I'll be back before he's back.
Right. Okay. So Mondays at 11, we'll do that. And then I know we kind of talked about groups and what groups you wanted to do, and we do have those every week on the same times.
Okay.
Did you want to start coming to those groups this week? Or
Yeah, I
How
think
did
I
you-
want to start coming to them this week. And I mean, I'm going to come to as many as I can. Of course, it kind of just depends on how things are that week.
right.
But I definitely want to start coming to them this week because I think it'll help and maybe it'll give me the courage to, do shelter or just to get my own housing.
Right. And if you're wanting to look at housing too, we can look at that as well.
Okay.
We do have DV 101 on Tuesdays at 11:30. So from 11:30 to 1,
Okay.
if you want to do that. And then our support group is on Tuesday evenings from 5:30 to 7.
Okay.
So that one's on Tuesdays as well. And then I know I mentioned parenting too. If that's something you're interested in, it's from 9 to 10 on Wednesdays.
Okay. Maybe I
So-
can tell him that she has play dates or something. And I think maybe I could do those.
And she can come and go to groups to the children's group while you're in group. And
Right.
it's, maybe have some interaction with other kids and
Definitely.
still be a play date.
Right. Yeah, she definitely
So-
needs that. She's been struggling. I don't think, obviously she hasn't witnessed it, but I think she can still tell. And so she's been acting out a lot more. She's been, really stressed and emotional. I mean, she's only 2, but she's still been, crying all the time and, constantly wanting to be on my hip, like as if she's protecting me.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that would help her as well.
I definitely think that kids sense when we're stressed or upset or when something's wrong, and they just can tell, even if they don't see it, they somehow know.
Right.
But that's good. So we'll do groups, and then housing we can talk about. We can, when you come back, we can fill out our paperwork, but I can talk to you a little bit about that. So we have Homeward Bound. They do housing. They've got apartments. They've got some houses. It just kind of depends on what's open, but we have a paper that we'll fill out here, and then I will, give that to them, and then they'll contact you and have you come in and fill out all the paperwork and get you put on the list. And then when something opens up, they'll give you a call, and and I'm sure you want at least a 2-bedroom since you've got you and your daughter.
Yeah.
So as soon as a 2-bedroom opens up for you guys, then you would be able to get into that. And we've got a couple different options, but they help with the rent as well.
Okay.
And so they'll help you with all that, and
Okay.
they'll talk to you too more about what all exactly they have. But
Okay. Perfect.
but we do have that.
And then you guys said that you guys also help with getting a job, like doing resumes and stuff.
We can, if you want to work on that in counseling as well, we can take part of our counseling time kind of, and we can work on your resume and work on that type of stuff. Have you gone to college at all, or what kind of education background do you have?
So I graduated high school and I've done about 2 years of college intermittently.
Okay.
And then when I got with him, that was something that we had talked about, was that, I was really wanting to finish school. He was really supportive of that and that he would help me pay for it. And now it just seems like it's never going to happen. So I really want to finish school. And I was working on getting my CNA, but now that hasn't happened, obviously. But I definitely want to finish school and get that license.
Okay. Well, yeah, we can definitely, I can help you look at that and, if schooling's something you're interested in and going back, then we can definitely look at that and I can help you get signed up for classes if
Okay.
that's what you're interested in and, see what exactly you need, what you need to do for that
Right.
and help you with your resume and all of
Okay.
that too as well. So we can work on that in our counseling.
Okay,
But
great.
that's a good goal to have and that'll help you in the future with your daughter as well and
Right.
all of that. Is there any other like resources or help or anything that you feel like would be beneficial to you in your goals?
So I think, which I don't really know if this counts because there's so many different like stigmas around it, but like I feel like he, forces me to do things when I don't want to do them. And so I don't really know if that's considered, way for that, but he definitely like forces me to do stuff. So maybe speaking with someone about that and figuring out if that is what that is or that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's still sexual abuse. If he's forcing you to do it,
Okay.
then that's still abuse. That's still rape. It's if you didn't consent to it, it's
Okay.
abuse. We do have another agency as well called Growing Strong that we work with that I can refer you to, and we could let you talk to them as well too, and
Okay.
they would have a little more information on that and be able to talk with you more about the sexual abuse because I don't have the training in that they have,
Okay.
so they would be a good resource
Okay.
if you want to do that as well. I can refer you to them as well.
Yeah, I think that would be really helpful. I think because I think even like in the past, like my father was abusive in that way as well. So I think speaking to someone about that would be really helpful and to have those resources. Like I said, I have no idea of anyone that I could talk to.
Well, and I want to make sure you've got all the resources that you need and that are going to help you through everything that you've gone through and that you're trying to work through. So I can definitely get you some resources for that and get you a referral there.
Okay. And then he's got all of mine and my daughter's like papers, like birth certificate and all that locked in a safe that I don't have access to.
Okay.
So if I did leave, I don't know if I could get those. Is there a way to figure out how to get those?
Any information, like any birth certificate, or if you need an ID or social security card, anything like that, I can help you as well. We can file and get those, and not a problem at all. That's something that we can help you with through here too. That's kind of something whenever you come in for counseling, we'll work through any papers, anything that you need like that. I can help you get.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, I think that would be really helpful because, if I do, like, if things get worse, obviously, I might take you guys up on that shelter. And so I'm just trying to figure out how I would pack everything and how I'd get everything.
Yeah.
So is there like a way that like I could get someone to come help me or someone to watch out for me while I grab things so that way I don't have to worry about him?
If a good plan would be when you get home and when he's not around, that you have a chance, maybe pack a bag that is essential stuff. Whatever essentials that you have, if you have extra money, you can pack. If you've got, make sure your keys are in a place that you can access them easily. Maybe a bag of clothes for you, for your daughter, like toothbrush, anything like that. Or, you said you couldn't really get to your birth certificate and stuff like that. But if you could get to it, any of that, anything essential that you have, pack an easy bag that you can grab and get out quickly. And then you can come here. And once you do and you're safe, then we can call the police and they can do an escort and help you get the rest of your things safely. That way you don't have to worry about him hurting you or hurting her in the process. Just worry about getting you and her out safely.
Right.
And anything that you can't, we always have like toothbrushes and toothpaste and,
Okay.
necessary things like that that we can provide you with as well too if you don't have those when you come in.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think that would be really helpful to be able to plan for that just in case. And also, I do want to eventually leave, so being able to get all that figured out, I think would be helpful.
Yeah, it's definitely a good idea to have a, safety plan, kind of think about that. If you've got a close friend or family member or someone who you could talk to, or you could have, it's a good idea to maybe have like a safe word or something. I know I talked to someone in the past who I thought this was a great idea. Her and her sisters would communicate, and anytime one of them sent like the heart emoji, even if the text said I love you, if they sent a heart emoji, a red heart emoji, that meant that they were in trouble and that they needed help and to call the police.
Okay.
So if you've got someone that you trust,
Right.
maybe come up with a code word or something like an emoji that, if you send that, they know that the police need to be called and that you need help.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I think that would be really helpful, to be able to do that. I do have a couple people that like are on my side, or that like kind of know what's going on, and so I think setting that up with them would be really helpful, so they know that like it's getting worse and I need to leave.
Yeah, absolutely. Having a plan is a good idea. You want to be able to get out as easy and as quick as possible if things do get worse and you need to leave.
Right.
It's definitely a very good idea, especially if you've got someone that you can trust to
Right.
do that with. So
Definitely.
and if you need to, of course, always call the police, and you've got our number if you need to come here.
Right.
Of course, if something happens, you don't have to call us. You can just come in. But if you need to call, and even if it's not a day that you're coming for counseling, if you just need to talk, you are absolutely welcome to call our hotline at any time. Whether I'm here or someone else is here, someone's always here that can talk to you and
Okay, great.
can help you out.
Okay, that sounds like it would be really, really helpful.
We just don't want you to ever feel like you're alone and that there's not someone to talk to.
Right. I really appreciate that, because like I said, I've gotten I have no idea how to get help. So this has been really helpful to be able to talk this out and figure out what exactly I can do and what services are available for me and that I can get help.
Yeah. I think it's really good that you're trying to get help, and I want to make sure that we can help you and with everything and help you get in a better situation.
Absolutely.
Help you and your daughter. And and even if you don't leave right now, that's okay too. We're still here to help you through everything.
Right. I really appreciate that.
Well, I think today has been good, and we've got a good plan, and you're gonna come to groups, and we're gonna meet Mondays at 11. And would you like me to write down the schedule for you so you have it, or do you think that it wouldn't be a good idea to write it down? Do you have somewhere safe you could keep it that he wouldn't, even if I write down play dates or something like that, if we do it like that, would that work?
I think
just that way you've kind of got a list and you've got it for you so you don't kind of forget. I know that's a lot to remember, so
definitely.
So we're gonna do Mondays at 11, and we'll start. Let's look at the calendar. You said we're not gonna do this week, so we'll do the 17th. Does that work?
That works.
Monday the 17th. And then we'll start groups this week though. So Tuesdays from 11:30 to 1, we have DD 101. And then Tuesday evenings from 5:30 to 7 is support group. And if anything changes, I'll sign you up when we get done here. But if anything changes and you can't come, you can't make it, just give us a call and let us know.
Okay.
Not a problem at all. And then Wednesdays from 9 to 10 is parenting.
Okay.
And I will give you my card as well, which has our hotline on it.
Okay.
So if you need anything, you've got that.
Thank
So,
you.
is there anything else that you wanted to talk about today before you leave, or that you feel like you need to talk about?
I don't think so. I think that was pretty much everything. I feel a lot better having a plan set up and goals and figuring out, what services I have that are available. So I think this will be really helpful for not only me, but also my daughter and to be able to get into a safe environment and to get help.
Absolutely. I think it'll be good for both of you. I'm glad you came in today,
Thank
and
you.
I will see you on the 17th. If
Okay.
you need anything before then, don't hesitate to call.
Okay. Perfect.
All right. I'll see
Thank
you
you.
later.
I'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.